Hello, and welcome to Party Wipe. Scattered upon the moor. How's it going, Lost Sleep? 30 stream streak. What the heck? How's it going? That's about 6 weeks. Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's Sunday. We aren't usually live on Sundays, but I'm doing a makeup for Friday. So we are going to chill. It's a lazy Sunday. You did your homework. The Life Aquatic was fantastic. Good. It is. It is. I'm not unapologetically pro Wes Anderson. There's obviously not good, some less than incredible Wes Anderson movies, but Life Aquatic is up there. I watched Dragonheart yesterday while I was working. That was fun. That was a blast from the Memory Palace. I watched that a lot as a kid. Kind of a dark film to watch as a kid, but it's pretty goofy. Pete Postlethwaite is amazing. Movie is a masterclass in line delivery. Yeah. Wes Anderson line delivery is like what Joss Whedon wishes his line delivery was like. Imagine if instead of Joss Whedon dialogue being like the standard, if we had Wes Anderson as the standard, that'd be crazy. It'd be very weird, but it'd be crazy. Yeah, there's some good ones. I haven't seen some of the newer ones. I haven't seen the Phoenician Scheme or his like Roswell kind of film. Forgot what it's called. I haven't seen some of the newer ones, but man, I like the oldies. Also, don't worry about the insane cowlick I have going on back there. Pay no attention to the hair behind the headphones. Was Dragonheart a book? I don't know if Dragonheart was a book, but it's like a Phil Tippett. Well, Phil Tippett didn't direct it, but I think he was responsible for the effects. It's like an ILM early 90s effects, early CG effects film. So it's like, it looks weird. It's like Jurassic Park level. Maybe a little lower budget. Actually, quite a bit lower budget, but it's good. Everyone in it's good. We love Sean Connery and Dina Meyer and Dennis Quaid. Love is a strong word for how I feel about Dennis Quaid, but whatever. What are we even talking about? YouTube is like, what the heck is this guy on about? We're working on a roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party, and it's called Party Wipe. And today, we are going to make cards. Because I only have one card. We've been rolling with a single card so far. You like Grand Budapest? Yeah, the Grand Budapest is similar. Ray Fiennes is great. I changed some of the highlighting behavior and I moved the roster around a little bit. I like this better. But we still only have one character and we don't have any equipment for them. So we can't work out how equipment dropping is going to work. We have to figure that out. But yeah, we can... This interface works pretty much the way I would want it to, but we haven't tested multiple units, so that should occur. These are all inline outlines, as it were. They're all inlines in that they're inside of the texture. I'm tempted to switch to outlines. All of the sprites then become bigger, but I honestly don't think I care. Also, I don't know what's happened to the music. It's like ducked out in a weird way. I'm going to change radios. Hopefully that's just not my headphones. Thinking of adding more base characters or adding equipment for the night. Both. Boleth. Nico Boleth. Yeah, I'm thinking about switching to outlines. Because the inlines kind of interfere in a way that I don't love. I have to think about that. That's going to be harder to do for like the cards and stuff, but... Well, maybe it won't be. Maybe it will, though. We'll have to see. But yeah, we're going to make a bunch of cards. We'll make cards. We'll make unit cards for the 4 units. Test that out. And then we'll start making item cards and figure out how you're going to... And spell cards. Oh, and we got to do a thing where when you level up, it actually unlocks some of these spell slots. Ability slots, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to outlines from inlines. I'm realizing I maybe don't like the inlines. But I'll do that later. That's a lazy, like, me just sitting here watching another movie, fixing that sort of thing. Yeah, we're going to make cards. We're going to make more of these sweet cards. Which is actually really easy to do, so we'll see. See how quickly we can get some of that going. Hey, Rhiannon. I don't actually think I need any art stuff for this. What I need, which I probably haven't done, is we need to make some... Okay, no, I made the hero textures. Honestly, that might be all we need. And then we just do resources. I think we're just making resources. So units, heroes, unit folder, hero folder. I always go back and forth between having using singular terms for folders and using plural terms for folders. Constantly going back and forth on that, but we'll just do this. Ranger. So our default units are the Bard, the Knight, the Ranger, and the Wizard. LSG, you're adding yoinking to your submarine game. You just finished porting from character body 3D to rigid body 3D. Interesting, interesting. What are you yoinking? Like items and stuff? I think my headphones have like... There's a loose cable somewhere on the line. I think it's at the other end. It just makes my audio sound like it's just constantly ducking. Kind of annoying. See, I don't think the music is supposed to sound like this. I'm gonna try to fix it real quick. 1 second. Okay, I think I fixed it. Trash and stuff. Gonna harpoon trash to save the ocean. That sounds fun. Be cool if you could get a net set up too. I know submarines don't historically have nets, but that's always what I think about for cleaning up the ocean. Ooh, maybe torpedoes that deploy nets. That would also be cool. There's always an infinite number of cool ideas. Makes it kind of hard to know where to get started sometimes. All right, so all we really need to do to define a card is to set up a unit resource, a unit card resource like this. Kind of neat. Really easy to do. So this might not actually take that long. So we'll make a Bard. Bard card resource. I think it's gonna be Bard level 1. 1 resource. I think this one needs to be renamed Knight level 1. And I might switch it to Res. Although res.tres is really dumb. We could say Knight level 1. I could say knight card level 1. I don't know. Could say knight hero. Say hero, knight, level 1. Say knight card level 1. Seems fine. All we gotta do is plug in some stuff. Pretty easy, comparatively. Oh, huh. Wonder if I actually thought about this. We'll have to, we're gonna do a stat spreadsheet for balancing card resources. And so the way this is actually going to work is card resource creation is going to be automatic. There's going to be like a tool script or something that does it so that we can rebuild the resources from the database. The harpoon thematically works well with your bumblebee sub. Maybe if you had multiple subs, there could be a spider themed one that shoots nets. Ooh, yeah, that sounds fun. Sounds fun. Hey, Sapphire, subscribe for 9 months on a 9-month streak. Flyby time. Thanks for the flyby. I appreciate it. Sorry to make you, you know, interrupt your Sunday here. Appreciate you stopping by. Should the ranger have a pet? I know that's more like the hunter, quote unquote, from like WoW or something. I feel like D&D rangers are less likely to have a pet. I don't think there's anything mechanically that makes that the sort of thing that happens, but I thought it might be cool if like the ranger can have a pet and like maybe the warlock can have like a familiar, like an imp or something. That's very World of Warcraft, both of those things, but it could be cool. Trying to think of ways to stack the party roster list. Although maybe they wouldn't appear in the roster. That's probably more... I don't think summonable units should appear in the roster, because they don't really have permanence or, like, equipment associated with them, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I might end up having to do a scroll bar for the rosters. That's probably what I should ultimately do, the scroll bar for the rosters, so that they're not, like, arbitrarily limited to, like, 6 units. Because I think at high level to keep the... Although, I don't know, it's going to depend on the board size, which this is the board size for now. I don't know. It's a question. It's an open-ended question. Also, we're going to need to make higher level versions of these cards. I think we're going to start not doing that. I think we'll just start on making level 1 versions of stuff, but some stuff will only have higher level versions. Like, I think any item that has a magical characteristic, like it does like elemental damage or something, like a flame sword. Like, I don't think there will be poor or common versions of the flame sword. I think the lowest level you'll find a flame sword will be like level 3, aka magic. AKA magic level. So, be interesting to see that. Alright, okay, so here are the 4 units. Knight, Bard, Knight, Ranger, Wizard. The usual suspects, as they say. And so what we want to do now is we want to go into the deck. And we want to update the starting deck. It's 60 cards in the starting deck. Actually, I really want to build the starting deck automatically. Let's put 20 cards in the starting deck. We'll start with just 5 of each so we can test some stuff. Because I'm sure the system is not going to work correctly. Because we have not tested it. And an untested system that works correctly the first time, that has like the mark of Satan. That is unholy. And one should be suspicious and skeptical of any system that works correctly the first time. Sapphire, it's crazy you've been around here for 9 months already. Doesn't feel like it at all. Time is weird like that. Time is weird like that. Similarly, it doesn't feel like this is the start of week 3, which it is. It both feels like I've only been working on this for like a few days, and it also feels like I've been working on it for longer than 2 weeks. Somehow both of those things are true. All right, okay, so now we're going to get different cards. What we really need is, we're going to need starter packs, and we're going to need a selection of starter packs for each hero. And those starter packs will need to have a chance of some higher level cards in it. Like, maybe you'll get lucky and your starter pack will, like, you'll have a magic item in it. Or maybe you'll just have a higher level version of a hero that you can maybe deploy. Like, I don't know. We'll have to be careful about that. I guess maybe you actually don't want much variance in the starter pack. What you want is the variance in the booster packs. Because you're less sure what's going to be in a booster pack. I guess the starter pack should actually be quite consistent. Sorry. No worries. Take it easy, Sapphire. Arneo, it's been a year since your Godot journey began. You found this stream pretty quickly after that. Try not to think about time. Thinking about time is concerning. Okay, so I drew 6 night cards. That seems unlikely. Okay, I'm only drawing night cards. Let's think about this. Is it the layout? Are you actually not being reset? Are you actually not taking on the characteristic of your stuff? Okay. Yeah, so we're taking on the texture for the level. We're taking on the text for the level. We need to do other things as well. Card front. We need the icons to change. So we need the footer Do you not know about these things? Do you not know about such things? This should be okay. This should be relatively easy to fix here. Oh, that's not a label. LSG, crazy to think you started working in Godot over 2 years ago. Feels like you know nothing. Yeah, for me it was also over 2 years ago, huh? It was like October of 23. Yeah, almost 3 years ago. And then it feels like the game that I'm actually going to put out is going to be a game I've worked on for a fraction of the time compared to all these other things I've worked on. That's also kind of weird. Footer icon dot texture is card suit icons. Oh yeah, we're gonna update this. I'm gonna say base res. We'll say card res. Oh no, we already know about the card resource. So base res, if the card resource is that. Base res. Card suit. Oh my glob. Sapphire, you said you left already. Thank you. Thank you for slapping that sub badge back on Arneo. If you've noticed, I still haven't changed the sound effects. Wow, you've worked your way up to a gold badge somehow, Arneo. You've collected a gold badge of sub gifts. All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Try to be lazy about it. All Sundays should be lazy Sundays. All right, footer name dot text is base res dot card name. Our icon texture. And there's a portrait. The portrait icon dot texture equals base res dot card icon. All right. Okay. Now we're actually doing the thing. Now we should be dynamically updating the layout for whatever resource we swap in. I don't know why we weren't doing that before. I think in my head, we were going to do more card layouts. I thought we had to because I thought we were going to be manually fiddling with the name stuff. Leg doctor. Center. But now I think that's not true. I think we're gonna Warlock still barely fits. That feels bad. Could always do Warlock. Doesn't feel much better, but Artificer isn't great. At least Artificer has some space. See Sapphire. All right, now will it update? Yeah, okay. So we've got wizards, we've got knights, we got bards. So I can play a knight. And what happens if I do this? This should auto go back to the party. Well, what if I do this? Hey, that kind of works. Hold on, I need to rerun this. Bard. Love to see it. Ranger. Wizard. Okay. It works. It worked the first time. What do you know, Joe? Crazy. Crazy that worked the first time. Oh, this is the easy part anyway. Let's see if we can get the fourth one. There he is. The OG knight. Okay. Well, you got your full party now. Hey, Commander. How's it going? I saw your little demo thing that you put up. You look cool. It looks like a Brogue-like. One of the games of Michael Brogue. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but it's too close to Rogue for me to not say it that way. It looked kind of like his like small, very small puzzly roguelike grid-based games. It looked slick. Michael Brogue is good. I couldn't quite understand what was happening in terms of like the way the bullets were propagating around because it looked like there were side effects and secondary effects, but it looked really cool. It looked really slick. Yeah, you're prototyping that thing. It looked cool. Yeah, if you haven't played like Cinco Pass or like other roguelike games, I'd check them out. Kind of, that's the vibe that I got. All right, so here's one thing that I want. Oh, this is not good. So we need to see. So if the selected character is not the same as the one...
Beam me up, someone.
What in the world? Did someone just give me something on... Someone just sent us some money on Ko-Fi. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. Second person ever. I think it was Mr. Magoo. Oh, I thought this would have read your text. It should have. You look forward every day. Matt Reels on Mondays, me on every other. Well, that's a lot of pressure. Matt Rose needs to carry their weight. Thank you, Magoo. Thank you for my second ever Ko-Fi donation here. I need to change that too, so it's not as Star Trek-y. Did you change your Twitch name? And make a new account? Hello, retired android. Whoa. I just clicked back on this and it didn't close the thing. Ooh, that's bad. How did I make that happen? Is that recreatable? Okay, well, we got bards and wizards, so we can try. So we got this bard. So it works here. Man, that bard icon is slick. Oh, that's not good. I think we're gonna stop using this this signal. It does not seem to behave the way I thought it would. We're just gonna pass. Comment this out and see if we can go back to this later. The Matt unhovered does not seem to work the way I want it to, so we're gonna just not use it. You posted some code in Discord. Should be more or less self-explanatory. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Ooh, I like the Ranger too. Their silhouettes are also recognizable. I feel like I could recolor the characters for their rarity, but I don't want to do that. And I especially don't want to do that for items. Like, I feel like if you have a flame sword, the sword should be orange. And it should be orange regardless of the level of the sword. Like, it shouldn't change. All right, so this works. And then what happens if I do this? That was very confusing what just occurred. Oh, and we opened a new character sheet without closing the old one. That is what has happened. Okay, so what we want to have happen is if you bring over a different unit card, I want you to close the character sheet that's open if it's not the same suit. Let's add that in. That is a mat card entered thing. And then what we want to say is if card suit is not equal to selected character dot character suit. And what we want to do first is we want to close the character sheet. We want to say character sheet close. Oh. What is the selected character? It's a character sheet. Do you not have somewhere where you keep track of what your suit is? You do not. Well, that's unacceptable. Character name, character suit. Character suit. Variable card suit. This has to be part of your setup function. Yeah, those 4 pass the silhouette test, but you'd wonder if the others do. Yeah, I thought about that in the back of my head, and I was like, I was already predisposed to not want to do that, so that works. That works for me. Because yeah, I don't think all of these pass the silhouette test. They share, a bunch of them share certain characteristics, but not all. But yeah, like the wizard and the witch are a little tricky. The 3 hooded characters here, the druid, the ranger, and the thief, are a little weird. It could work. The warlock and the priest would be especially bad. Yeah, I prefer this. I like having the strong 4 character color identities. So all we should have to do is close the character sheet first and then do everything. This return is questionable. That's fine. Whoa. Card suit. Selected character dot card suit. Oh, we'll say if selected character we haven't selected a character, obviously we don't need to do that. Okay, so now if I bring another, so we can level this guy up. Bop. And then if I play a wizard, yeah, it closes the character sheet. That's what I want to see. And then this one just switched, which is neat. So it'll just switch to whatever if the character has been played. That's what you'd like to see. I don't know if I want to open the character sheet automatically when we play a card. I think the next thing you would do if you play a new card is you would place it on the map. It's a little crowded here, isn't it? Should I consider shrinking the battle space by 1 on each side? Make it 8 by 6 instead of 10 by 6. I kind of like the overlap, but I'm worried that we're getting a little busy. Especially with the discard pile being where it is. Did I put the discard pile over here and actually still manage to fit the end turn button? Maybe. No. Strong, no. Strong, not enough room. This is fine. But yeah, I'm tempted to shrink the battle map a little. I feel like I'm not giving it much room. Much breathing room. I might also move the cards down a little. Well, this is good. This is so far so good. Oh, you know what we need to make, though? We actually do need different layouts. Because the different characters have different items. Maybe not for everything, but for a lot. Yeah, what if we do the thing where... So, on mat card dropped. I don't actually think I want to do this. So we want to make all of this. I don't think I want to open it, though. We do want to set it up. I just don't think we want to open it. Yeah. And you can open it if you bring another over. Because what's going to happen when you place a unit card is you're going to place it like this, and then I think it's going to switch to a tile that you can play on the battle map. So that you can deploy them. Why is this locked? Why is this highlighted? That should go away. Party. Wrecked. Oh, because we're not opening the character sheet anymore, so we're not actually changing that. That shouldn't be part of this. Oh, it's not. Interesting. Roster count -1. Is that right? Roster count +1. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay. There should be a mini there, though. Hey, Rimas. How's it going? We got some more unit cards. We're making sure the roster plays right, plays nice. Okay, that's better. Whoa. Something just happened. Something weird just happened there. What the heck? Are these differently spaced? Or is this just a visual trick? Oh, they're differently spaced. I was like, what the heck is going on? These are too low by 1 pixel, I think. Well, that one's not. At some point, these become too low. Oh, okay, I'm just confused then, I think. Okay, yeah, that's 7. 7. 7. When do we go from 8 to 7? Right here. Okay, that explains the off by 1 error. There we go. It probably is in the other one too, huh? How's everyone doing today? On this laziest of Sundays. Okay, well that one's fine, I guess. Commander, you're adding a shop and a bunch of perks. You should be able to get a very simple prototype done. Sounds menu or anything nice like that. Sounds good. I would say the only required thing would be like some kind of tutorial. It's one of those things where you're like, but it's a prototype. It doesn't need a tutorial. It's like, I think everything needs a tutorial. Why? Why is that still doing that? What the f... Are these different sizes? It's probably a texture rect thing. Or like where I'm setting it wrong in the atlas. So that's 98. Please be the same size. I did this before the stream. 98. 132. 132. Did I not actually change this? Did I just talk about it and then not change it? Okay, now it's even worse. Now it's at 6 instead of 8. Oh, I'm dumb. I just went the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing that I've probably learned the most about is just in terms of like actually putting games out there and having people play them is like it's crazy hard to see as the developer all of the things that people are not going to understand. And now I've just learned that you just put in just an absolute metric shit ton of onboarding. Okay, finally we have stability here. Should this close if you move off? I think so, actually. Now that I'm looking at it. Whoa. That moved again. I'm so pissed. What is going on here? Okay, that one was stable. One of these was not, and that's gonna annoy me forever. I have to figure out which one of these is off by 1. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, this one's off. It's this one. I noticed this stuff. This stuff drives me insane. I feel like there's an optimal amount of stuff to change on screen based on someone doing something, like in response to someone doing something. Like I've learned this a lot in like animation or whatever. There's like too much, it's like too busy, and too little. So I'm just always looking at like there's some certain number of things that I want to change in response to a player doing something, but getting it to be just the right amount is always a struggle. Hey, Nix with the 13 months. Thanks for the hydrate. I still need to watch that video that you sent me of that you posted of the game that you think looks like our game, like my old game. I'm curious. How's it going, Nix? We got multiple units now. So we got our 4 basic units. Yeah, I actually like the color differentiation because I feel like if there wasn't a color differentiation here, you'd be like, you'd have a hard time telling them apart. We are going to do a thing where the card, when you're over a card, it's going to highlight and it's going to rise up. Which is part of the reason why I kind of want to lower your hand even further than it is currently. But I'm going to wait until I do the rise up animation first, and then I'll set that up. But yeah, we can play a knight card, and we can play a wizard card, and a bard card, and a ranger card, and then we can play another bard card and level up our bard. A knight card, level up our knight. Now we got a level 2 knight, a level 1 wizard, a level 2 bard, a level 1 ranger. I've decided maybe not to have these be reorderable. Maybe we add that later, but I kind of like that they're played first in. Like the one you played first is at the top. Because then if they die, you kind of have this implicit tracker of like who's dying more often because they're kind of stuck at the bottom. And who's especially long-lived because they're at the top. But yeah, I think when we move off, I want to close the character sheet. But yeah, we need to make more layouts. I actually see now why I set this up the way that I did, because we actually do need custom layouts. We either need custom layouts or the resource needs to include equipment export variables that we can swap in, which actually is not a terrible idea. Although, if we do it that way... Oh no, because we will be swapping out resources when you level up anyway, because we have to keep all the stat data in the resource. So yeah, I think I'm going to expand the resource to include the icons. Because like this is correct for the knight, because this is what we designed it for. But yeah, we'd have the wizard is going to have a different set of icons. Like the wizard doesn't carry a sword and a shield, right? Bring all the cards up when you're hovering over the cards. I might do that too. That's not a bad idea. I'm thinking about making the play space smaller. Because right now the play space is, it's 10 by 6. And then there's an extra ring around the outside, which is like unplayable boundary space. So it'll be a wall, or it'll be like a forest, or even just darkness, depending on where you are. But I think when we've got something like this, I feel like we're crowded a little. I feel like we're crowding the battle map a little, because especially we're infringing here. Thinking about bringing the battle space in so that it's 8 by 6. I feel like that'll still be plenty of space. That makes it a little smaller than Into the Breach. 10 by 6 is the same size as Into the Breach, it's just distributed a little differently. I think we're a little too crowded. Like, we don't cover up much. Like, you'd still be able to see the character under here, so maybe it's fine. And I kind of like a little overlap because it gives you a sense of depth, but I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm going to switch these inlines to outlines. I think that'll look better. Yeah, what I want to do right now... Somehow we've already been doing this for an hour. We're gonna switch to making more cards. What we need to do first is we need to make the new character sheets, as in we need to come up with a different set of icons for the different character sheets. I've decided to swap out and add in individual names to the character sheets. I think everyone's right now is just being named Joffrey. Yeah, everyone's named Joffrey, but that's because I haven't come up with any other names. I'll probably darken this name a little bit. But I think it's gonna be funny. I also did something to absolutely break this. I don't know what I did. The roster thing is not showing up anymore. Okay, it's there though. So that whenever they die and they respawn, they'll get a different name. I'll probably add a little icon so that you can like change the name if you want. So you can name them yourselves, but I think it would be funny if they cycle names. I just hard-coded Joffrey in there. Jeff. My name is Jeff. We're gonna move in the battle map and see how I like that. It's bothering me. It's bothering me, and nobody's proffered an opinion on it, so I have to just try something. It'll probably be better to bring it in. A smaller possibility space is better, generally. So I think before that would have been 60 spaces, and now this is 45 spaces. No, it can't be 45. Oh, you know what? Maybe we make it an odd number. Maybe we make it like 6 by 9. 6 by 8 feels a little small. Hey, nerdy. Nerdy nerd. Nerdy nerd 2 of 2. You can take the man out of the tiles, but you can never take the tiles out of the man. Very true. Very true. We've almost worked out the whole card interaction stuff. We gotta make some more cards today so that we can try out the equipment stuff. But we can play some cards. Play some cards. We need to do the board stuff. This already feels better, and that there feels like there's more space. I think I will do it. I think I will do an odd number of X-axis stuff. We can level up our cards. We can play more characters. Yeah, we're working on this stuff. Looking great. Yeah, I want to sort this out and then get the battle map stuff next. So yeah, I want the sheet to close if you move, if you go away again. Yeah, this feels like there's more breathing room. Maybe too much breathing room, if I'm being honest. So maybe the battle map will be like 9 by 6 or something like that. Let's undo these changes I made. Let's move this over here. set this up? Oh, let's just move all of this over. I kind of want a center tile if I do this, though. I don't know why, but I just do. So is there room for maybe by 7? Can one of the names be Scottsdale, Arizona? I doubt it. It's an interesting request. It'll probably, we'll either have a pre-composed list or, well, we'll have a pre-composed list. We'll get one of those fantasy name simulator lists or something. Okay, now I just have to move this so that it's correct. Somehow. It's really hard to do this at this with this discrepancy. See what this looks like. You're almost at a 200k points, Nix. Oh my god. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, we might not have. I might be pushing it. Maybe we do 9x5. I'm not against that in principle. And you can have your deployment zone on the left, an enemy deployment zone on the right, and then like neutral space in between. This is starting to feel a little small. And then maybe the problem is this boundary area. Maybe that's the real problem, is the way I'm thinking of the boundary. Maybe the boundary is occasionally playable. Yeah, this feels small. But if I treated all of this as playable, then I think maybe it's okay. Maybe. Depends on how big the turn order list is. I think I made the turn order text too big. I think I'll make it small again. I think it's too big. I don't know why I decided to make it big. This is better on the left and right. So the odd number of tiles I think was correct for left and right. Like, I'm comfortable with this now. So obviously the left and right boundaries are absolute here. So yeah, if I make this smaller and I bring the cards down a little bit when you're not looking at them, when you're in like battle mode, then I maybe have more room here for like what, like a 9x7. There also doesn't need to be an origin tile. I don't know why that's a limit. Mootsie, does it have to be rectangular? What's your alternative to rectangular? Do you want like a square? Because I think a square is going to be tough. Are you talking about like an ellipse or a curve? Also, how's it going? Random shapes. Then I have to make the random shapes, Mootsie. And I think the goal eventually would be like semi-random generation, negative spaces on the battle map, so you have to like work your way around a corner or something. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. I think those would be one-offs. I think I would make that for a reason. But yeah, I'm not against that. I think it would be interesting if sometimes there's like a door in like a chamber. So I like this. Okay, I think we're dialed in left to right. I don't think I'm happy with the top to bottom distribution here. But maybe this is fine. Maybe this is fine. You only have up to 4 characters. And what I'm thinking actually is we're going to kind of do the Into the Breach thing where like maybe there will be a door here or a door here or like a staircase or something, and like more fighters come in each turn if you don't like block the door or something. Just to make it more of like an endurance thing and less of like, do you have everyone in the right spot immediately? Because I think that's going to be hard. But if you make it more of like a bit of an endurance test, I think there's a little bit more room there to do interesting stuff. We also could have this stuff go away. I like Nyx's idea of the cards kind of shifting down a little bit more, because they actually shift up the bigger your hand is. And so if I move them down a little bit so that they're still recognizable, but not like all the way up here, because like, yeah, you shouldn't necessarily need to see that. Let's move the hand down a little bit. I know I said we were going to make cards today. We've already made some. We will make more. We're going to make cards today, don't worry. If you made it like a board, you could have it raised on a plateau, so you could have the stone just on the outside if you need to make the play area bigger. You don't mind the cards overlapping the stone. Yeah, me either. I don't mind that either. This is maybe a little too much. That's what we have on the left, which is why we narrowed the play space left and right by 1, because the character sheet was overlapping the battle map, which was too much. But now it's just overlapping the stone, which I think is fine. Because yeah, the stone represents out of bounds. Out of bounds for play, but maybe still relevant in terms of like I was talking about earlier with like the door. Or like maybe if you hear banging on the other side of the door, or like there's a little icon or something that shows that the door is like something is going to come through the door next turn, you can like plan around it. And then it's more about controlling the space. Yeah, maybe the battle map will be like 9x6 or something. Or 7. We'll have to see. But yeah, I like the idea of the hand going down and coming back up when you're actually using it, because this feels a little too low. Let's back off that. This feels like a little much. Yeah, maybe this is okay. We'll figure it out. I'm going to set it back to what it was before, and I'll fiddle with that later. I think I might do some animation stuff to move the cards down and up rather than have them be like locked there. Which was definitely my idea, not Nyx's idea. But yeah, I'll play. I think we've dialed in the left-right margins. I just need to dial in the top-down margins a little bit more. All right. So I wanted to do the thing. I wanted to make one script change, which is that when the mat card is exited, I actually want to just close the character sheet. Hey, Nanigans. How's it going? Yeah, I like that better. Because you might change your mind where you're like, oh, I want to look at this ranger. Ah, never mind. I'm going to play a knight. It's like, oh, do I level up the... Well, obviously, if you have both these cards in hands, you can do both, but... Card interactions are looking good, though. And yeah, I like the space. We gave the tabs, at least, a little breathing room against the stone, and that feels good. And then the character sheet overlaps a little, but that's okay, because if the character sheet is up, you were doing things. You were doing things with the character, and a little bit of occasional overlap is fine. The discard pile also overlaps the stone. Ooh, it overlaps the stone an awkward amount. There's a tangent. There's a tangent right at the corner. How large can the roster expand? Space-wise, we can fit 6 before we need to start scrolling. But you're only going to be allowed 4 character suits, like 4 party members. Maybe this will get a little bigger for like certain missions, or maybe if you can put summoned units like pets or something on here. Like if you can level up your pet or whatever, or if the warlock has like an imp or something. But yeah, you can fit up to 6 before you need to start scrolling. Maybe I'll implement a scroll, but if I implement a scroll, it'll probably be for the enemy more than it will be for the friendly. But we have to be careful about how many units we have on the board. Because the quickest way a fight gets away from you in D&D is based on the turn economy. So it's like if you have more, if your party is bigger than the enemy, you're doing pretty well usually, even if they're fairly high level. Like, if you're fighting a boss and it's just the one boss and they don't have any legendary actions or anything, it's, like, comically unfair. All right, so let's make the layouts. Let's make some new layouts. Nannigan's not too bad, nothing uneventful. You don't think you'd be online for long? You figured drop in and say hi? Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Appreciate you making time on a Sunday here. The Sunday streams seem to be okay. I feel bad I feel bad, like, you know, putting people in that position. But it's all right. All right, so these are the items for a night. We're going to swap these out for everyone else. So if we're not talking about a night, and instead we're talking about, like, let's put a bard in here. Let's get the bard in here. So for a bard, we're probably looking... The cloak can probably stay, but instead of a helmet, what we want is a hat. So we'll get rid of the helmet. Let's open up our armor stuff. Let's grab the hat. Put the hat in here. Fancy hat. The bard will probably allow them to wear armor, like leather armor, probably. I don't know. Should the bard have to wear a shirt? I'm kind of thinking. Instead of a chest armor. They're kind of the fancy man. Kind of more of a support character. Hey, Dorgaz! You made the trailer? Hell yeah, I'll check it out. Your game does look very cool. From a mechanical standpoint, I kind of want to let the bard wear some kind of armor. but maybe not. Let's at least see what this looks like, because I think this will be funny. I like the shirt. And then instead of gauntlets, they're going to get to wear gloves. Also, what did I do to change this file? There we go. So no more gauntlets. Instead gloves. I don't think there are any other boots. Yeah, there's just one pair of boots. That's fine. I think I'm rethinking the shirt thing. I think the guy should be allowed to wear some armor. Mainly because the bard is a melee character. Yeah, we'll save the shirt and stuff for like the wizards. Although, I don't know, maybe not. Let's look up the, let's open the accessories thing. We have to think about what the spellcasters are going to look like. So I switched away from using this cape, and I replaced it with this robe icon, but I think maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should go back to the cape. The recognizability is higher, but I kind of want to save this for... I don't know. Not totally sure. Is that app you're using for UI? Oh, this is just Sprite. The robe would signal that it would be part of the headgear. The cape only fit better. You expected the capes to give you a hood? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you won't... There's not going to be any graphical change either way, but... This just didn't read very well. If I do this one, it might read better. If I do the... Yeah, I kind of want to save this for the wizards. For spellcasters and like warlocks and stuff. I don't know. Certain items will lock out multiple slots. And like this is probably one of those. So like I'd probably put a cape here. I think we're gonna leave the shirt. This is the bard. We're doing the bard right now. We've already done the knight. And so the bard, there's two musical instruments. There's a fiddle. And a lute. I think the fiddle is ranged and the lute is melee. And then so the only real question is if I let the bard have like a secondary. Actually, I don't know if the lute's going to be melee. That's what I thought. I thought that was very funny. Because that's how they play it in Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. But maybe it would be better to give him like a rapier. The thief is going to be confusing because the thief is going to be like the rapier and the dagger. So we could treat this as the melee, and then this is the offhand ranged. And so you could have both, and then your bard gets flexibility, which I think is nice, rather than giving them a melee weapon. Let's try that. Let's just see. We can make that make more sense in like with like tool tips and stuff, but let's see if that's funny or if that's just confusing. The cloak is way cooler than a cape, though. The cape is a weird, pointless accessory. Yeah. Bard should be like an enchanter. AoE. I don't really know what an enchanter is. Do you mean like Tim the Enchanter? So I could have it so that they can have 2 musical instruments. And then we would treat this as a melee weapon, and we'd treat this as a ranged weapon. Which I think would be funny. Or we can give him a bardic instrument spot, and we can give him like an offhand for like regular weapon, which I think is also funny. I think the cape works well for this character regardless. But yeah, I think I might change that. Buffs the teammates. Oh yeah, he'll have that. That'll be what their like abilities are for. They'll have like bardic inspiration. They'll be a healer, so they'll have a healing ability. None of this is permanent, so I shouldn't really think about it that hard. So I'm thinking I just do the one. I think it's confusing and redundant to have 2 musical instruments on here. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put this in the offhand. And then we'll give them like a rapier as like a melee. Do like this. In which case I kind of do want to give him an armor slot. So like he can wear leather armor instead of this shirt. Which while the shirt is very funny, I don't know. We'll start with this. And then so how are we going to manage this in the game? Editor settings. Manage editor features. Where do I turn off the 3D tab? I don't know how to do this. I kind of want to just get rid of this. I don't need it. Don't remember how to do it. I did it on my laptop, and then I don't remember how to do it here. Classic. This is a dumb thing to be focused on. I'll figure it out later. Editor docs? No. Manage editor features. Concerned about doing this now. Yeah, who cares? So this character sheet. So right now it's hard coded to these. But it doesn't have to be. So if it's not going to be coded, then what we need to do is we need to record this in like a hero card resource thing. We're going to create a new script. It's going to be the hero card resource. It's going to be like this. It's going to extend the unit card resource, and it is going to include things like there's going to be a, what do I call these? So there's going to be a head icon. Export variable. This way we can set these up for different heroes. Everyone's having a nice chill Sunday here. I am. This is nice. I think I'm working too much. I kept working for a few more hours after the stream yesterday. But you know, I just sit at my computer and there just doesn't seem to be much else to do. Which is it's a good place to be. There isn't like a game that's distracting me. That's how you make progress, is just single-minded pursuit of whatever the next piece of work is you gotta do. I do watch stuff though. Like I watched, I was saying earlier, I was watching Dragonheart yesterday. That was good. I hadn't seen that in so long. I have such fond memories of it as a kid. Holds up okay. Not great, but okay. Dennis Quaid was maybe trying too hard. You know who's better than Dennis Quaid? His son. I think it's his son. Jack Quaid. Love Jack Quaid. Boimler. Everybody loves Boimler. I guess some people probably know him from The Boys as well. I don't remember his character's name. I'll finish that show someday. Yeah, Jack Quaid is the best. Nobody in voice acting has a better scream than Jack Quaid. There's some good behind the scenes stuff from Lower Decks of Mike McMahon. Mike McMahon? Yeah. Asking Jack to just do a bunch of iterations on the Boimler scream. It's so funny. Rima's Flight of Dragons was your go-to when you were a youngster? Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Flight of Dragons. 1982. Ooh, this looks good. I might have to watch this. I've been on a classic animated film kick. Like I watched The Hobbit, like the OG 1977 Hobbit. That was good shit. There was something else I was looking at. It was gonna be something really short, and I could have watched it, and it would have been like that, and it was good, and I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, this is going on the watch list. This looks good. Thanks, Remus. All right, so now I have to plug in all of these, which is a little annoying, but that's okay. I like the idea of having different food slot appearances for different characters. That'd be neat. So like the druid could be a vegetarian or something. I don't know if I'd actually enforce that, but it would be funny if the icon showed like a berry instead of like a slab of meat. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Remus. Appreciate you. Oh, this is the card text. I was like, what in the world script have I written that is this long? I didn't. This is part of the card plugin. Okay, so instead of hard coding these, these are going to be set in the resource. So then what I actually have to do is I have to move these over, move these folders over. Oh, it does not like me moving resource cards. Okay, and so what I need to do is update these resources. How do I do this part? Script. I can change the script, right? Yeah, sick. And now I just have to set all of these, which means I have to make them all. Equip slot. So now I just need to make more of these. Create an atlas texture. This is going to be called the hat. I should rename these a little bit. This should be like, it should be like head, slot, head, equip slot, slot, hat. Atlas texture. I don't know if I need to keep putting atlas texture at the end of all of these. It's because T-Res is very nondescript. But I feel like if I know what this means. Head, equip slot, hat. So let's rename this. We could say boots, equip slot. We could say chest, equip slot, armor. We could say... Oh, so we've decided that cloak is actually a chest equip slot, huh? Cloak. Chest equip slot. Cloak, or... This is going to be renamed gloves equip slot armor. Not T-Res. This will be the head equip slot. Armor. Let's say helm. We'll say armor. So this is going to be an ability equip slot locked. Neck equip slot. How would you, with language, distinguish between, like, a necklace? It's just a string. Or, like, one that's, like, got chain. I'm just going to call it string. The other one is, like, a chain. We'll just identify it visually. That seems fine. This is food, equip slot, pie. Potion equip slot. Shield equip slot. Let's say wooden, maybe? Wooden. LSG. Necklace versus amulet or whatever. Yeah. I'm just going by the graphic. What is this going to be? So this is... Oh, no. This is offhand. Offhand. Equip slot. Shield. wooden. I might change that to be a heater versus a buckler. Main hand, equip slot, sword. And then ability equip slot. Unlocked. Okay, so now we'll make... So we've got the head slot here. Oh, my glob. King Aranax, my liege. Thank you for the follow. My king. All right, now where the hell is the hat? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 over. Is that 160? Yeah. There's our hat. Our stupid little hat. And again, so you're getting burnt out working on your auto tiler. Things feel really close to done, but the next steps of things require you getting deep into the thick of it, fixing things that apparently aren't working like you thought they were. Tempted to temporarily abandon, switch to just using solid cube for everything and start building gameplay stuff. Yeah, here's what I would suggest. Obviously, directing your work to what you're motivated to do is good, and I think you can make a decision based on that. Since if you don't have a deadline, I like motivation-based development personally, which is why I spend time fiddling on like UI and stuff. Like I've described it before that I just sit down and I look at like what the most egregious thing is and I just work on that. But I don't know. If it's that and you don't want to do that anymore, I think the next best thing to do would be like you work on whatever your highest risk question is, right? You work around where you work on whatever is the most uncertainty in the game. Like whatever has the largest, riskiest piece of uncertainty to it. And for most games or prototypes, it's the gameplay, right? Like you're like, what's the biggest risk that I'm taking here creatively that I don't know how it's going to work out? And it's like, yeah, a gameplay prototype for that purpose would be pretty good. I think. It seems reasonable. All right, what did we decide to do? Hat, we need cape. This is gilded, cape gilded, which I think I'm going to use just because the regular cape just doesn't read very well. So we'll say back, equip, slot. Cape gilded. Cape is an accessory, not armor, so it should be in this list. 32, 16 by 16. You're super experienced, and I know you know what to do in terms of directing your development, so. What did I say? Gloves, equip, slot. $160 minus 16. 44. All right, this is going to be good. When we're done with this, we'll be able to dynamically populate all the character slot stuff. on these characters, which will be good. Did we do the shirt? I don't think we did the shirt yet. Create, resource, atlas texture, chest, equip, slot, shirt. Is this the last thing? Okay, then it's going to be 384. Yeah, so for all the stuff that you've been building are systems that you could easily pivot and do something else. You haven't been super concerned about validating things with a prototype. Yeah, no, I feel that. When you're working on foundational tech stuff, you're not like... You could totally drop it or leave it or whatever. Yeah, I get it. If anything, you build those systems up so that you can use them to answer other pressing questions and stuff, right? All right, rapier. Okay, so main hand. I think it's fine for the bard to be the wielder of the rapier here. I think that fits. And also for them to wear a shirt. That makes me think of them as these very braggadocio, high risk, high reward kind of characters. I know the rogue is usually like that too. We'll see. We'll see where the distinction is there with the rogue. Main hand, equip, slot, rapier. $192. That's all we need, huh? For the moment. And so what we need to do is we need to go back to our bard card and hook these up. So we're going to say head, equip slot, hat, back, equip slot, cape, neck, equip slot. Yeah, amulet is actually maybe a good idea for the other one. I don't know. I have to look more into the etymology of these words before I pick one. Chest, which is the dumbest thing I've said today, probably. Gloves. You know what's a word I can't fit on the card, so I can't use it? Gauntlet. Actually, particularly gauntlets, plural. I could use the word gauntlet, one, singular. You think the rapier fits the bard cliche as well? Yeah, I'm thinking of the combination of the rapier with the shirt armor. So, like, they don't have any meaningful armor. So it's very, like, they can't take hits, but they can deal them, right? Which I think it'll be good. I think it'll be nice to have that high risk. All of our hero characters have kind of a mix of archetypes, and it's interesting to see how those archetypes split and combine. So like a bard is kind of like a rogue mixed with a priest, right? Because they have like healing and spellcasting abilities and buffing abilities, but they're also like high damage dealer, risky situational characters. And I think it's interesting. I think building a good party is going to be about mixing those archetypes in a way that's very synergistic. And I realize that's where a lot of the synergy of the game is actually in the party members more than it is in the cards. Because we actually don't have the same typical kind of card synergy that's in a typical roguelike, because the cards aren't spells. I mean, some of the cards are spells, but they're abilities that your characters will have. And so there are synergies between having abilities that like mix well with equipment that like works well with it. But like, I still think the main decision making early on is going to be about what characters to bring. Hey, the Debug Lounge. Love that name. Thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a fine Sunday. Feels quite like Guybrush Threepwood. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a classic. It's a classic. I am thinking a lot about Chris Pine's character from Honor Among Thieves. Man, that movie understood the assignment. All right, and then so for level 1, all of the ability slots are going to be locked. So we plug those all in here. And then as they level up, these slots will become unlocked. Okay, so we have all of these. It's quite a bit of information there, but that's fine. And then, well, we have to do these for the other characters, and then we have to hook them up. I guess we could hook them up now. So if we look here, you have all of these. Oh no, it's for the character sheet. The character sheet needs to hook them all up. That's part of your setup. So you set all this stuff up, and then now you're going to need to say head slot dot texture. What is this called? It's not slot, it's icon. Head icon dot texture equals card res. Okay, so this can't be a unit card resource. This has to be a hero card resource. It's a hero resource. Dot head slot, and then we just go through. We just go through the list here. Shenanigans, you think in your game you're considering consolidating your classes a bit as well? Maybe capping the party size at 4 instead of 6. It was 8 classes with a party starting of 4, maxing out at 6. You think now it'll be 6 classes with a max party of 4? See if you start off with 4 or 3. Yeah, I think 3 can be strong. You want to make sure you can't be every base class in your party at once. I think that's reasonable. I think forcing people to make choices is very good. What order did I put these in? Same order? Let's just validate that they're the same order. Oh, we're at the 2-hour mark, chat. That's okay. We got plenty of time. This is going to be perfect. We're going to finish the character sheet stuff, and we should have time for, like, we'll finish the sheet stuff in the next, like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we'll have another, like, 40 minutes or something to just make equipment cards. We'll start with low-level stuff that would be included in the starter pack. We'll limit ourselves to that. We want enough equipment cards that you can fully equip each hero. So we'll need to make some commons as well, and we'll need to figure out how the common cards work. I guess it'll be saved for next time. Or maybe what I'll do off stream is work out how you can actually equip an item onto a character sheet. We'll just work on making the content. But we're heading into ads. Hold on to your ads, everybody. You're curious to see how I envision the items and the combat will work? Me too. So far, we've been heavily inspired by Into the Breach. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how that starts to combine. There's definitely some second order, like, interesting things that we can do to have them interact with each other. But to start off, it's really just like you equip a thing and then you use it in combat. It's really about having the right thing. It's about having the right equipment in place at the right time for the right situation. So it'll be interesting to see whether it makes sense, if it makes more sense to like try to play in a way that's flexibly and have equipment that like is good in like that's like okay in most situations, or it'll be interested to see if you can take the opposite approach and try to do a lot of like card milling to like have like a small amount of like really good but situational equipment that you have to just manage. You just have to hope that you get to it in the deck. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, here's setup. Setup is done. Let's run this. This might crash. But if I play the Bard card... Hey, their character sheet is all set up right. The hat is hard to see. I might change the hat. Cape still doesn't read very well, but the hat reads especially badly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to fiddle with this a little. Just kind of lighten the hat. It reads better. It's better. Oh, in that case, what we can do is this. So your hand will have a mixture of heroes and equipment, and you have to draw into equipment to play it. Yes. The only real question... Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. I thought I decided that wasn't going to happen. Oh, it's because this is visible by default. Mistake. Yeah, much better. That reads much better. I might change the cape too. The cape has a similar reading problem. You have to say things are coming along. Oh, please do. Please say. It's nice for me to hear. Yeah, so this is, we're going to do the same thing here. So we can actually see the cape. And we'll go back to using this one. Yeah, so it's really going to be about... And death is going to be very common. Like, actually utilizing your characters is going to... Correctly, I think, is going to be knowing when to sacrifice them. So a lot of it's going to be about, like, can you get this character back on the field in time? If you sack them. Or are you going to experience a party wipe? That's the idea. Is that it's like, it shouldn't actually be that bad to lose a character, but it's going to be like a very fine line. So the equipment and the characters are like both resources that you're managing. Okay, that reads a lot better. It still kind of sucks, but it reads a lot better. Okay, let's go on to the next one. We'll do the Ranger, because the Ranger might overlap a little. Bane of Rodents. Quite an invocation there. Lou. How's it going? Oh, I see the name of the... Your commander is talking about... you made a perk. It gets you multiple... Oh, you get a multiplier when you're killing a rat specifically. That could be cool. Yeah, having to play optimally like that's cool. Hey, Rhiannon. How are you doing, Lou? There's another name I can refer to you to. That's just my read on your name. Let me know. We're making some cards and stuff for our Roguelike Deckbuilder where you draft an RPG party. All right, now we're going to do the Ranger. All right, Ranger things. I just heard myself. Ranger things is pretty funny. All right, now we have the hood, what I'm calling the hood conundrum. So I like this hood. This feels very rogue, but it also probably works for our Ranger. I also like this, though. Maybe this is for the Ranger. Do we give the ranger armor? We're making ranger things now. I know, right? It's like, sorry, chat. You feel like you're actually feeling positive about your game dev for once? Feels nice to just make some garbage, but at least get something done. Yeah, just ship it. What kills, to me, what kills my positivity is a lack of momentum. And there's a lot of stuff you can do that just absolutely tanks your momentum. All right, so we're either going to use this hood, or cowl, I guess, as it were. I think we'll use this cowl, because I think the only two characters that are going to use that version of the cowl. Well, maybe we'll have some variety. Probably have the ranger and the rogue share this one. I like this cowl. So we'll start with that. Get our little hat out of here. Probably take the cape away. And then there's the same question of like, what kind of armor do I give this guy? I guess I should actually save the... I know that this could be like leather armor or whatever, but I guess we should save the actual armor sprites for characters that wear armor, like the knight, the spellblade, the paladin, the demon knight. Maybe the artificer. Although the artificer looks like they're wearing a shirt. It's already 4 characters. That seems good. I don't know what I'm going to do for the Plague Doctor. Yeah, Ranger. It makes sense for the Ranger to be a relatively low armor character. All right, now what do we do for their chest? Do we give them this? I think so. Reckon so. Or do we give them a shirt? And then this is like the back. I really like this. They already have a cowl. I think the cape was the right choice for the bard. Maybe we do this for the ranger specifically. I do like this though. Whatever this thing is. I think I'll save this for like the spellcasters. I think that's okay. Can someone tell you not to learn C++ and write your Godot game in C++? I could tell you. Thief, but your hands are harpoons. It's pretty good. I think this is all right to start. We can always change these. None of this is permanent. All right. What am I doing? Oh yeah, weapons. Bow. Easy. Easy choice for the ranger. Bow and arrow. There's room. There's room to add slots to these for certain characters if it makes sense. But I actually, and I thought about that. I'd be like, well, what if the ranger has like 5 or 6 slots so they can have their bow and their arrow and they can have like a melee weapon too. But like, I think the design is just stronger. It's like what we were talking about before, where like the party should not be able to, you shouldn't be able to like cover every conceivable use case. It's about leaning into certain specialties. And I think a ranger that can melee attack kind of loses some of the magic of being a ranger. All right, so what new things do I need to make? So we need to make a cloak. Oh, which I made this a chest piece. I guess this isn't going to be a chest piece. So I'll fix that. Chest. Rename. Back. Equip slot. Cloak. And then we need a new helmet. Or hood. Hood. Head. Equip slot. Cowl. Mask. I guess is fine. Quick load the armor. $96. Save. We already have the shirt. So it's just the bow and arrow. I could give them a different food item, but I like the pie. I think pie is good. I think I will give certain characters different options. Like I think it would be funny if the Demon Knight just had like a slab of meat on there. And then the Druid had like cherries or something. I think we could be funny. We could be funny, but it's more funny if it's rare that there's a difference. We have bow and arrow. Easy. Super easy. Main and equip slot. Bow. And then I think the ranger will have the option of like a crossbow. Maybe a crossbow does way more damage, but takes like a round to reload or something. Or maybe a bonus action to reload or something. We still have to decide. We have a lot of decisions to make about the action economy. I'm not going to make any of those ahead of time, really. I think we'll have actions and bonus actions maybe, but... And then maybe your slot can lock for a round. Either a turn or a round or whatever. And that's really the only way I could limit you from spamming certain things. Yeah, I need to go find a database of like fantasy names that we can just pull from. I know they exist. Go find one so that we can spawn. We can give each character a new name whenever they die and get replayed. All right, so I think that's everything I need. So now what we can do is we can take our ranger. We can change the ranger from being... Oh wait, did I not actually finish the arrow? Looking up the arrow, I did not. Weapon script. They used a different set of colors for this one, which I don't know if I love. It uses a different color scheme than the whole rest of this thing. I think I'm going to change it. For consistency more than anything else. Unless, what am I doing for like, oh yeah, no, I did change it. Yeah, let's change it. That's better. Not against changing these things. It's a starting point more than anything else. Alright, so there's a bunch of equipment slots. Now we grab our ranger. We swap its resource. That was not how to do that. We swap its resource out for a hero card resource, which gives us all of these slots that we need to hook up, and then we just hook them up. I'm gonna do the cowl. We're gonna do the cloak. I think I'm going to take off the string part of this. This is the only equip slot for the neck. You got to eat. Happy ranging. Thank you, Arneo. Take it easy. Have a good eat. Gloves. I wish I had bracers, but these are gauntlets, not bracers. We're gonna hop off, do your own stream in like 20 minutes. Ooh, okay. That might work out for us. Have a good stream. If I don't see you again soon. Ominous. Abilities. Ability equip slot locked. Okay, that's all of that. Save that. We'll just redraw, yep, until we get a ranger. That looks all right. I wonder if I should make jewelry generic as well. I don't want all equipment to be generic. I want most of the equipment to be suited. But potions and food are generic, and maybe it makes sense for rings and amulets or whatever. To be generic. I could see an argument for that. Because then you can hedge some stuff a little bit where you could be like, oh, I'm going to get a ring of fire resistance, and then we can just like pass that around. Whoever needs that. That's obviously not how it works in terms of like you would need to equip something else, then redraw it, and then equip it on another person. But then you could at least be like, oh, I have this certain amount of fire resistance in my deck. Be a little more flexible. Okay, so that was that. The night one should be really easy. Because the night one we should already have set up pretty much. Night, we actually skipped the night. Give them a hero card resource. I'm gonna give them a cape. I feel like people would understand if the jewelry is generic, but the rest of the armor is all suited. Tailor-made, as it were. I feel like that would make sense. Or it would be explainable, you know. So is the sword the best base weapon to have here? I guess it's the most generic. The only other option that I could do is the spear, because that's the item that the knight is carrying. I'm tempted to do that. Especially because it's the item that they just have in their hand. There's other people that will have the sword as their slot weapon. Specifically the paladin and the spell sword. Yeah, let's do that just for variety. I'm not even gonna mock this up. We don't need to mock it up. But what we do need to do is make the slot for the spear. I guess the spear has reach, which is pretty good, probably. But it's not going to be a two-handed weapon, I don't think. I don't think. No, there's no reason to do that. Technically, there's like a great sword in this sprite here. Big ass sword. Can make that a two-handed weapon. There's also a second version of the spear. But I don't know. I don't know about that either. You know what we don't have is like an orb for like the wizards. But I'm thinking about making like some of these staffs and some of these wands. They look identical is maybe the only problem with doing that. I could also always just trim some of this off here. And be like, oh, it's an orb. It's an orb that you can wield. Is that lazy? I think that's okay. I'll have to expand this sheet if I do that. I just don't know what the offhand for a wizard would be then. I think I'd like to keep these all as staffs. I don't even like this third one. I don't know what's going on with this. It just looks like this, but like worse. Probably fix it. Probably fix it later. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. Honestly, I could probably replace this staff with those orbs. 'Cause this staff sucks. No disrespect to the creator. Honestly, what I might do is I might take the shape. Well, how do they manage that? Oh, is that one actually longer than this one? Is that what's going on here? I like the shape. I just don't like just how much is done in here. Like that looks better already. That's worse. Okay, yeah, maybe we make an orb. For the wizards. So they can, I mean, I guess a wizard that can't contemplate their orb is not much of a wizard, are they? That's not what I wanted to do. 336. 352. Didn't like that. Background. Fix the background. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're making an orb. Oh, shit. Fix the potion first. Okay, now we're going to make an orb. There isn't like a book or anything. I can't do that. Your new favorite variable name, Yoinking Yoinkable. You are going to hate that eventually. You like it now. What the heck? Why can't I erase things? Oh, because I know why. I know why. Snap to grid is on. I mean, of course, it's only used in one place. You just came up with it. Enjoy it while you can. That is a fun name. Don't let my own hang-ups get you down. Now I want to have a wizard spell that's just called like Ponder. And it requires an orb. Alright, that's okay. It's a very cheap and economical use of a sprite that we already had. It was going to be had very limited applicability. It'll probably be for the Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor will probably have their offhand be a potion. In this particular kind of potion. You have perfect foresight. Yeah. Yeah, if there's one thing all programmers definitely have, it's foresight. Should this be more centered? Maybe. Should it be completely centered? Maybe. Can it be completely centered? Yes? Yeah, let's do that. I guess I was jumping ahead. Remember how I said this was only going to take like 20 minutes, this part? Well. Egg on my face. Alright, we just have to do the wizard. Just have to do the wizard now. Look at the wizard. Some whiz biz, as they say. All right, wizard hat. Where my wizard hat? There it is. Do I want the regular or the gilded? Use the gilded. Okay, I don't think they're going to have a shirt. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to... They're going to use this. That'll be a chest piece. I don't know what the fuck to call this. I guess I'll call it a robe. Give them a cloak. This looks terrible. I guess we'll just use this one maybe. Let's worry about that later. I'll do this for the second here just to look at it. Compared to this one. Yeah, it's kind of amazing how bad that looks. It's not much better. Right, so what kind of staff does your sprite have? It has the crook. Okay. Then we'll start with a crook. I am not a crook. Then your offhand is going to be an orb that you can ponder. That looks okay. It makes sense that you might have spells that like have a item requirement or something. Eh, maybe not. Maybe that would be too cheap or too annoying and too hard to make sure you can do it. Oh well. Well, this will work for the wizard. So what do I need to make? I need to make a wizard hat. I need to swap the cape to the gilded version. I need to make a robe chest piece. A staff. We'll save these for like nicer staffs. These like gemmed staffs. Made some progress. You don't think 2 hours of sleep is getting you much farther today? Yeah, maybe maybe you take it easy. I was telling everyone to have a lazy Sunday. Seems like you've defied me. Use this one. This one's slightly less bad. Make another resource. Say head, equip, slot, hat, wizard. You did your homework. That's true. That's true. How'd you like Alex Jaffe's talk on cursed problems in game design? No, that was extra credit. It hurt your feelings? Yeah, it's tough. It's rough. That's a rough one. I think that's something that every designer should think about, because I think we have those feelings a lot where you think about a design and you can feel that there's some kind of tension between parts of the game. And I know in my mind, I always try to downplay that. I try to downplay that feeling. But it's there. And I think it's important to listen to that, because I think your gut will often tell you. I think your gut will often give you a hint that you are working on a cursed problem before your head even really knows. But then, yeah, once you see that you start to get the tools necessary to actually evaluate it, figure it out. What was I doing? Chest, equip, slot, robe. It's gonna be this. Minus 48. 400 minus 48. 352. Main hand staff, main offhand orb. Okay, well, I underestimated the amount of time it was going to take to do the character sheets, but that's fine. We'll still make some cards. Making cards should be relatively easy, which is something I would hope to validate here. Main hand equip slot, staff. Offhand, equip, slot, orb. $336, maybe? Yep. Nailed it. All right, now we go to our wizard. We give it the hero card designation, and now we just hook this stuff up. We give him a wizard hat. We give him a cape. Necklace. Robe. Some gloves. Station's doing good, giving me lots of chill music today. Don't let it hear that I've complimented it. Okay, that's it for that. Let's run that. Play a wizard. Look at his character sheet. Beautiful. Kind of want a little highlight on the staff for some reason. But we'll leave that for these nicer things that very clearly have like gems and stuff. We'll save it. Cool. And that's the default 4 characters done. So if I were to quickly make some cards, some equipment cards, I would do that by... So we have an equip card resource that holds a slot information. Head, back, neck, chest, gloves, ring, boots, potion, main hand, offhand, food, ability. Does it need to say whether it has a suit or not? I guess what we could do is you have the suit from the base cut, and it would just say suit none. So that should be okay. Okay, this is working out. So if I were to make some equip cards... Let's make some weapons first, I guess. So what I would do is I would make a new resource that is an equip card resource. We'll say, oh yeah, these need to be suited. So this would be like knight sword. What was the naming convention I'm using for the units or heroes? Bard card level 1. So I can say sword, knight card level 1. And equip card resource, we'll say sword, knight card level 1. Actually, we'll say spear because that's the thing on the thing, right? Spear. Oh, you know what an equip card? Well, what we probably want is to distinguish these further, like weapon and armor or whatever, like a weapon card resource that extends equip card that has a damage number associated with it, but that's fine. We can update that stuff. So I would take my Spear Knight card. It would have an icon associated with it, which would be, well, we'll need to make that. We would say texture, equip, we would say heroes. Say a new resource. We can say a spear. Oh, it would be a equipment card resource. Oh no, I want to make Atlas textures. That's what I want to make. Atlas texture. Okay, I can see why I put the word Atlas texture at the end of a lot of these. We would say spear, Atlas texture. So it's a lot more. There's going to be a lot of setting up Atlas textures, unfortunately. So now we have a choice, which is like, what do we use for the mundane versions of things? So the game has this gray set. And for like the armor, the gray set looks more plain. Somehow this became green at one point. I don't think that's how that used to look. But maybe it did. Oh, maybe it did. It looks like there's slightly different colors being used here. I really hope I didn't do a mass color replace at some point. I can always look back at the original stuff. And so for the armor, the gray stuff looks a lot more mundane. I really do think I did a color replacement at one point. I'll check that later. For the weapons, it looks crazy. Oh no, this is the right color. For the weapons, it almost looks like Eldritch or something. Like it looks like it has some kind of thing associated with it. Right? Like it looks cool. But it doesn't, what it doesn't look like, except in some, you know, aspects like this, what it doesn't look like to me is like mundane. So I'd be tempted to use for the starter weapons and stuff. I would be tempted to use the brown versions. Call it like rusty or something. Yeah, it looks more cursed or undead. That's what I'm thinking, is it might be like the sort of thing that deals with like, it does like damage to undead or something, or it does like necro damage or something. But we have other colors for that too. Like I'm thinking of using purple for poison. This purple. But I have this other indigo color. I have blue and indigo, so I'm like, got choices. Got choices. Yeah, it doesn't help that the Lich is this color. Same with the spell sword. It makes me think it's like an infused with magic kind of thing. And like I could redo the sprites. I could introduce this gray color instead, right? Like I could recolor this stuff myself. That doesn't really fit though. So I don't know. I haven't decided how I want to deal with that. But what I don't think it is it doesn't look mundane to me. So I'm thinking of making the initial set of mundane weapons be these browns. Is what I'm thinking of. But I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it either way. I'll probably just have to look at it. Yeah, it doesn't look mundane. Yeah, the mundane ones look like the brown ones. It reminds you of bronze weapons from RuneScape. Maybe that's what I should say. Say like bronze spear or something like that. I was gonna say rusty. Is what I was gonna say. Because then there's like this qualitative read on them. And then yeah, the gray could be like spirit weapons or something. Like they do spirit damage, which would like hurt stuff. I don't know. But we also have light. We have this like yellow at the bottom, so I don't know. If we also have light damage, I don't know if we also need spirit damage or whatever, but I gotta decide. I think I have to have a think about that. But yeah, I'm leaning toward making the starter weapons all in this brown set. So you can level them up, but it makes you wonder if you want to, right? Or if you just want to sell them and try to get better weapons. I have to have a think about that. Okay. Well, we didn't do the thing I said we were going to do, which is make a bunch of cards, but that's okay. We made all our character sheets and stuff, and that feels good. We can play all our characters. We can level them up. The roster interface is looking good. What I need to do is make some equipment and then make it so you can actually plug that equipment in. And what I actually need to do is hide the card while you're doing this, so that you're not covering up the character sheet with your own card. I also need to make it harder to level up. But it's coming together. It's coming together. Yeah, I think I will use the brown for the starter equipment, the mundane starter equipment. And then maybe you can have higher level starting equipment for some of them. Let's call it like steel or something like that. What I think I'll do is I'll swap in the icon and the icon frame. And it will show you the stat changes or something. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Stuff like attack is a little harder. We'll have to have tooltips that allow you to distinguish between melee versus ranged and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to figure out. We're certainly not done with this interface. But yeah, I think the initial set of starter weapons will all be the brown. And I may or may not call them rusty. Most of the items have like a gilded version, at least for the armor. Not the weapons, but all the armor has like a regular version and then a quote-unquote gilded version, which just looks nicer. And so I think there will be card upgrade opportunities, mainly for armor cards. So maybe there's a blacksmith or an armor smith that you meet, and you can switch to like they can make you like a fine version of your item. I think we will have some of that. So there's like this version of the helmet, but there's also this version. I think there's cool stuff we can do here, for sure. But we're doing it. We're doing it. Let's see. Is Commander Apollo streaming, as was foretold? I hope they are. It would be neat to raid in. Oh, Bite Me Games is streaming. I've never seen them stream live before. Simple Game Dev is on. Hypnotic is on. Who's Simple Game Dev? Ew, they're working in Unity. Where's Commander? Let's see if they're on my list here. If they are, we're gonna go. There they are. All right, they're a very small streamer. They've only just started, so I think it'll be fun to raid in and see what they're doing. It's always nice. They're streaming to one viewer right now, so let's go say hi. Let's give them some encouragement. Their new prototype looks sick that they're working on. I don't understand. The name of it in the executable window is shit game. That's so funny. Unity, yeah, exactly, Remas, you got it. Let's set that raid up. Raid, Commander, Apollo. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for the stream, Remas. It's not a stream without Remas. Thank you all. You are what make the stream. I'm just here. I'd be here either way. It ain't a stream without chat. But I appreciate you all your encouragement and your criticism, your feedback, your ideas that I just get to gobble up. Appreciate you all. Yeah, this was the start of week 3 of Party Wipe. I feel okay. I feel like I really want to get to playable prototype soon. At least by the end of week 4 of some kind. Like, I want to at least have combat going. Probably won't have a full loop for another few weeks, but we have a playtesting event in like maybe 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, so we'll get there. Maintaining momentum. So let's do that. Just make whatever decision maintains momentum. Oh, here goes the raid. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend here, and I'll see you all Tuesday. Bye.